Hello everyone, I'm Miss Mark and welcome to another video. I kind of laughed because I just finished doing a couple other recordings, so this is like the third or fourth time today that I've introduced myself. But anyway, I am Miss Mark still after all this time. I am a comic artist and occasionally I take a break from doing my comics to do little standalone illustrations like this one. I mentioned, I think, in my last time lapse, which was the painting that you saw at the beginning of this, the little sneak peek. It's in a previous video, and I mentioned that I was, at the time, on vacation / workcation. I was house sitting. So it gave me a bunch of time off between taking care of the animals in the house and checking the mail and taking out the trash, all that stuff. I had lots of time to paint, write, and draw. And I had a lot of fun with watercolors, actually. I've kind of had like a love-hate relationship with watercolors. I don't know if many people know this because I have used watercolors a lot and I have lots of watercolor pieces that I'm proud of. But there's a certain look that I have always wanted to achieve with my watercolors and I've never been able to quite pull it off. And with the previous piece, you can go watch that video if you want, before or after, doesn't really matter. But anyway, with the previous piece, I kind of thought, you know what, I think one thing that is holding me back in terms of like the style I'm trying to get is my line art, because I always kind of default to outlining everything with the pen, you know? Everything has very sharp, crisp outlines most of the time. But the watercolor style that I kind of want to go for is something that's very light and something that's very, like, has a bit of like a glow to it, I guess. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but like something that just feels like the quintessential watercolor style. And I feel like when I use my line art, when I use pens and stuff to outline my watercolors, everything immediately becomes a little bit more like flat and graphic, which isn't necessarily bad. But I really wanted to pursue this very light, airy, loose. It's not even loose. It's actually pretty tight. But like, I don't know. This style that let the watercolors do all the heavy lifting instead of relying on line art. There's an artist. I don't remember her last name because I'm terrible with names. But her first name is Victoria. I'll put her full name on the screen. Her watercolors sort of have the look that I would really like to go for. And I feel like with these two paintings, the one I did before and the one you guys are watching now, I feel like I kind of discovered a couple things that will help me. And one is being very patient and waiting for things to dry. Because if you don't let things dry when you're doing watercolors, like obviously things just mix. The water carries the pigment and things blend. So if you're trying to get super crisp edges, you gotta wait for the layers to dry, which is tedious. For this particular painting, I actually brought a book with me, and I was like, all right, as soon as I finish a layer, I'm putting my paintbrush down and I'm gonna read until that layer is dry, which helped. It helped. The other thing is kind of, I don't know, using good supplies is the best way I can put it. There's no way around it. This paper is some of my best paper that I own. It's in the Etcher Perfect Sketchbook, which is pretty sure 100% cotton. It's hot press, and I was using a mixture of Roman Small and White Knight paints. White Knight isn't necessarily the highest end paint out there, but it's pretty good. And yeah, I haven't used these in a while. But it was just magical. The combination of this paint and this paper, it was amazing. But yeah, I think actually more important than the supplies was actually just waiting for things to dry. And not just because it would layer better, but also like there's a slight color shift, a slight value shift as paints dry, or as the water like bleeds into other things and settles. It just has a different appearance by the time it dries. So I feel like working slowly on this and being more patient, I actually had time to reevaluate, like, okay, now that the paint is dry, does it need another layer? You know? Anyway, I don't know. This is a very long monologue to say that I'm actually paying attention to how watercolor works, and it turns out I get better results when I do pay attention to what my watercolors are trying to tell me. I guess that's the lesson. Just a few years of watercolor painting before I finally was like, actually, what are watercolors? How do they work, actually? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this time lapse. Like, I hope you enjoyed the last one too. I would like to do more watercolors. Like, this is kind of like getting me in the zone to continue doing watercolors, so I might have some more time lapses coming up soon. And technically, when this video goes up, my vacation will be over, but I'm recording this before my vacation is over, so still time. There's still time. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. What a long-winded narration. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to click the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.